A homeless man is brutally beaten by police officers in front of a luxurious restaurant in Los Angeles. His only crime? Asking for food. Blood streams down his face as the officers continue to strike him with batons. Bystanders watch in horror. No one dares to intervene. Until a sharply dressed man steps forward. The officers dismiss him, assuming he just wants to pass by. But then something extraordinary happens. Something no one could have predicted. He positions himself between the police and the homeless man. "Stop this immediately! This is an abuse of power," he shouts. The officers try to intimidate him, but he stands his ground. "Do you know who I am?" The tension escalates. In that pivotal moment, the fate of the homeless man would change forever. And the officer? He had no idea what was coming. This is a true story that will move you and restore your faith in justice. Don't miss out on grabbing your copy of the ebook, The Secret of the Rich, 7 Steps to Financial Abundance, available through the link in the pinned comment or the video description. This special guide can transform your life, teaching you how to grow spiritually and achieve your physical, mental, and financial goals. If you haven't subscribed to the MR Millionaire channel yet, do it now and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our inspiring stories that show true wealth goes far beyond money. Hello, friends. This is Mr. Millionaire, the money vigilante who tests people's hearts. For those meeting me for the first time, let me share a bit about my mission. I'm an entrepreneur who built a considerable fortune over the last 15 years, but I realized that merely accumulating wealth didn't bring true meaning to my life. That's when I decided to become a sort of social justice advocate, testing the character of people, especially those in positions of power or privilege, and rewarding those who show genuine kindness, even when they think no one is watching. Because, as I always say, true wealth lies in who you are when no one is looking. The story I'm about to share happened in Los Angeles during one of my business trips. I was walking through downtown when I witnessed a scene that left me utterly outraged. It was a Thursday morning. I had just left an important meeting and decided to take a walk to reflect on some exciting new projects. That's when I spotted an upscale restaurant, the kind with sidewalk tables, well-dressed patrons, and a sophisticated atmosphere. Outside, a homeless man was timidly approaching the tables. The man looked to be about 60, with gray hair, an unkempt beard, and tattered clothes. His name, as I later learned, was Robert, a war veteran who had lost everything after developing post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Robert wasn't being aggressive or bothering anyone. He simply approached a table and, with humility, asked if anyone could spare some food, as he hadn't eaten in 2 days. The reaction from the patrons was immediate. Looks of disgust, people pulling their bags closer as if he were a criminal, and the restaurant manager quickly signaling for security. The security guard approached and began shoving Robert away from the premises, using unnecessary force against a visibly frail man. As if that weren't enough, 2 nearby police officers approached. Instead of assessing the situation calmly, they immediately assumed Robert was a threat. One of the officers, later identified as Officer Daniels, started shouting at Robert, ordering him to back off. Confused and frightened, Robert tried to explain that he was only asking for food, not stealing or threatening anyone. That's when the situation spiraled out of control. Officer Daniels shoved Robert against a wall and began striking him with his baton, while the other officer restrained him. Robert cried out in pain, begging them to stop. Blood began to trickle down his face from a gash on his forehead. The crowd watched in shock, but no one stepped in. I couldn't stand by. This was a blatant abuse of authority against one of society's most vulnerable. I quickly approached, adjusting my suit and mentally preparing what I would say. "Officers, stop this immediately. This is an abuse of power, and it's being recorded," I shouted, pointing to the restaurant's security cameras and the phones some pedestrians had already pulled out. Officer Daniels turned to me, visibly annoyed by the interruption. "Step back, sir. We're handling a public disturbance." What I am seeing is two law enforcement officers using excessive force against a clearly vulnerable citizen who only asked for food, I replied firmly. I graduated from Harvard Law School, and I can assure you that what you're doing constitutes abuse of authority. The officers scoffed dismissively. And who do you think you are to interfere with our work? That's when I decided to reveal my identity. My name is Alexander Wright, CEO of Wright Investments and a licensed attorney in the state of California. What I'm witnessing here is a clear violation of this man's civil rights, not to mention police brutality. The mention of my name and position visibly rattled the officer. Many in Los Angeles knew my reputation as a businessman and philanthropist. The younger officer seemed to recognize my name and tapped Officer Daniels on the shoulder as if urging him to back off. Take this opportunity to grab your copy of the e-book, The Secret of the Rich, 7 Steps to Financial Abundance. Click the link in the video description or check the pinned comment. This exclusive guide will teach you how to transform your mindset and achieve the financial independence you've always dreamed of. This channel exists to share real stories of transformation and justice. If you believe money should serve a greater purpose, hit the notification bell and join us in this mission to spread positive values worldwide. But back to the story. Officer Daniels wasn't ready to back down so easily. Sir, I'm asking you to step back. We're following protocol. What protocol exactly, officer? The protocol that allows you to assault an unarmed man for asking for food. The protocol that ignores the oath you took to protect all citizens, regardless of their social status. I challenged, maintaining direct eye contact. The crowd around us grew, many filming the incident. Public pressure was mounting. Let me explain exactly what's going to happen now, I continued. First, you're going to release this man immediately. Second, I am taking him to the nearest hospital to document his injuries and ensure he receives proper medical care. Third, tomorrow morning, I'll be filing a formal complaint against you with the Los Angeles Police Department and, if necessary, with the U.S. Department of Justice for civil rights violations. The younger officer looked increasingly uneasy, while Officer Daniels maintained his defensive stance, though less confidently now. Furthermore, I added, I have connections with major media outlets in this city. If you prefer to handle this through the press, I can ensure your photo and badge number are in every newspaper tomorrow. Finally, Officer Daniels relented. He released Robert, who collapsed to the ground, exhausted. I rushed to help him while the officers stepped back, not before Daniels muttered some empty threats. Robert was trembling, from fear and hunger alike. His face bore not only fresh wounds but years of suffering and despair. I gently helped him to his feet. "Thank you, sir," he said in a frail voice. No one has ever stood up for me like that before." "What's your name?" I asked, helping him sit on a nearby bench. "Robert Johnson, sir. I was a Marine for 12 years, served in Iraq and Afghanistan." His words hit me hard. A man who had risked his life for his country was now being treated like garbage on the streets of the very nation he swore to defend. "Robert, I'm here to help. Let's get you a proper meal and medical attention for those injuries." I took Robert to a nearby restaurant, different from the one where the incident occurred. Initially, the staff hesitated upon seeing a homeless man, but their attitude shifted when I requested the best table and placed a generous order. While we waited for the food, Robert shared his story. He had served honorably but returned home with severe psychological trauma. Without adequate support for his PTSD, he lost his job, then his home, and his family drifted away. He ended up on the streets. He had sought help multiple times, but the system consistently failed him. "The worst part isn't the hunger or the cold," Robert said. "It's the invisibility. People look through you like you don't exist, like you're not human." His words struck a deep chord. This was exactly why I created the millionaire persona, to see those society renders invisible and help restore not just their material needs, but their dignity. After the meal, I took Robert to a hospital. I used my influence to ensure he received priority care. The doctors treated his wounds and conducted thorough exams, discovering severe malnutrition and untreated health issues. I covered all medical expenses. While Robert was being treated, I made some calls. First, to one of Los Angeles' top civil rights attorneys, a longtime friend who agreed to take the case pro bono. Then, to a veterans support organization my company partnered with. After leaving the hospital, I checked Robert into a quality hotel and paid for a week's stay, ensuring he had a safe, comfortable place to recover. The next day, I returned with new clothes, toiletries, and, most importantly, a plan. "Robert, I want to help you not just today but in the long term," I explained. "You deserve a second chance, not out of charity, but because it's the right thing to do." I handed him an envelope containing $5,000 in cash. "This is for your immediate needs, but the real gift isn't the money." I gave him another envelope containing admission documents for a rehabilitation and reintegration program tailored for veterans, along with a letter guaranteeing all expenses would be covered by my foundation. This program will provide PTSD treatment, financial counseling, job training, and help securing permanent housing. It's not charity, Robert. It's an investment in someone who's already given so much to this country. Tears welled in Robert's eyes. "Why are you doing this for me? You don't even know me." "Because I believe true wealth lies in who you are when no one is looking," I replied. "And today, when no one was watching, I saw who you truly are, a man of value who deserves respect and a fair chance." The next day, as promised, I accompanied Robert to the police station to file a formal complaint against the officers involved. As expected, the department tried to downplay the incident, but when I mentioned the video evidence and potential media coverage, their tone changed quickly. The complaint was filed, and within weeks, Officer Daniels was suspended, and an internal investigation was launched. Later, we learned he had a history of complaints for excessive force, particularly against vulnerable individuals. If you're enjoying this story of justice and transformation, take a moment to grab your copy of the e-book, The Secret of the Rich, 7 Steps to Financial Abundance. Access the link in the pinned comment now and discover how to transform your mindset to attract prosperity in all areas of your life. This channel is dedicated to real stories that inspire and transform lives. If you're not yet part of this community, subscribe now and hit the bell to receive notifications for our upcoming videos. 2 weeks after the incident, I returned to Los Angeles to check on Robert's progress. I found him transformed. He was clean, well-dressed, and, most importantly, there was a spark of hope in his eyes that hadn't been there before. Robert told me the program was working wonders. He was receiving PTSD treatment, attending group therapy with other veterans, and starting to make plans for the future. A local publisher had taken interest in his stories and experiences as a veteran, and he was considering writing a book about his journey. "You didn't just save my life that day," Robert said. "You gave me back my humanity, my dignity. That's priceless." As we sat in a quiet cafe, a man approached our table. It was the younger officer who had been with Officer Daniels during the incident. "Excuse me," he said, visibly nervous. "I wanted to apologize for what happened. I'm new to the force and, well, I didn't act as I should have. I didn't speak up when I saw something wrong." It was a surprise to both of us. The young officer continued. "After that day, I couldn't stop thinking about what happened. I joined the police to protect people. All people. What I witnessed went against everything I believe in. I want you to know I voluntarily testified in the internal investigation against Officer Daniels." Robert extended his hand to the young officer. "Thank you for having the courage to do the right thing, even when it's hard." The officer shook his hand with respect. "Mr. Johnson, as a veteran, you served this country with honor. You deserve to be treated far better than you were that day. I promise to do my best to be an officer who protects the dignity of all citizens." That moment encapsulated the kind of change I hoped to spark in the world. not just helping individuals in need, but creating a ripple effect that inspires others to make a difference. In the months that followed, I kept in regular contact with Robert. The investigation against Officer Daniels resulted in his termination from the police force, and a civil settlement provided Robert with financial compensation for the physical and emotional damages he suffered. More importantly, Robert successfully completed the rehabilitation program, secured a job as a counselor at a veterans support organization, and rented a small apartment. He was finally stable and, for the first time in years, optimistic about the future. 6 months after our first encounter, Robert invited me to a special event. He had founded a small nonprofit focused on connecting homeless veterans with resources and opportunities. Its name? Visibility, because everyone deserves to be seen. At the event, Robert introduced me to dozens of other veterans he had helped, using part of the settlement money and resources secured through partnerships with local businesses. He had turned his pain into purpose, his experience into hope for others. When I took the stage to say a few words, the room was filled not only with veterans, but also with community members, local business owners, and even some police officers inspired by Robert's story. What we're witnessing here today, I told the audience, is proof that a single action can spark a wave of transformation. Robert didn't just overcome his own struggles, he's now reaching out to others. And this reminds me of something I deeply believe. True wealth lies in who you are when no one is looking. The audience rose in a standing ovation for Robert, the true hero of this story. In that moment, I realized my mission as Mr. Millionaire was bearing fruit far beyond what I could have imagined. Robert's story and transformation went viral on social media, inspiring others to view homeless individuals, especially veterans, differently. Several police departments across the country implemented additional training programs on handling vulnerable populations, using Robert's incident as a case study. Don't forget to grab your copy of the e-book, The Secret of the Rich, 7 Steps to Financial Abundance. This transformative guide is available through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Learn how to develop an abundance mindset that transcends money, impacting every area of your life. If this story touched your heart, show your support by liking, sharing this video, and subscribing to the MR Millionaire channel. Together, we can create a world where compassion and justice prevail. A year later, I returned to Los Angeles for another special event. Robert's organization had grown significantly, helping hundreds of veterans get off the streets and rebuild their lives. He had become a respected advocate for veterans and homelessness issues, invited to speak at universities and even the state Congress. Most surprisingly, I ran into the young officer who had apologized at the cafe. He was now working as a community liaison officer, building bridges between the police department and vulnerable populations. His work was helping change the culture within the force. Sitting together after the event, Robert looked me in the eyes and said something I'll never forget. "You know, Mr. Wright, when you stepped in that day, you didn't just give me money or an opportunity. You saw me as a human being when everyone else looked through me. That recognition of my humanity gave me the strength to rebuild my life." He paused and continued. "Now I understand what you meant by true wealth lies in who you are when no one is looking. It's not about money or status. It's about integrity, compassion, and the courage to do what's right, even when it's hard. It's about seeing the humanity in every person, no matter their circumstances." Robert had perfectly captured the essence of my mission as Mr. Millionaire. It wasn't just about giving out money, but about restoring dignity, inspiring systemic change, and showing that we all have the power to make a difference. This is the message I want to leave with you today. Each of us has daily opportunities to make a difference in someone's life. It could be through a simple act of kindness, standing up for someone being treated unjustly, or simply acknowledging the humanity in those society has made invisible. True wealth isn't in your bank account, the car you drive, or the house you live in. True wealth lies in who you are when no one is looking, in the choices you make when you think no one is watching, in the compassion you show even when there's no visible reward. The ripple effect of Robert's story. Robert S. case is just a spark in the vast wildfire of hope that illuminates the transformative power of small acts of kindness, courage, and humanity. It's living proof that even in the most challenging circumstances, a single gesture, a moment of connection, a flash of empathy, can unleash a wave of change that resonates through lives, communities, and even generations. As Mr. Millionaire, I have the privilege of using my platform, resources, and voice to amplify these stories and multiply their impact. But the most powerful truth is this: you don't need to be a millionaire to change the world. Each of us, with what we have, where we are, carries the potential to be an agent of transformation. True wealth isn't in what we possess, but in what we choose to share. Today, I'm not just sharing a message, I am issuing a monumental challenge to every person reading these words. Make a difference. Now. Don't wait for the perfect moment, the grand stage, or the ideal resources. Change begins with you, right where you stand. It could be something as simple as a genuine smile that lifts the spirits of someone facing a tough day. It could be a word of encouragement that reignites confidence in a soul feeling forgotten. Or perhaps it's a bolder action, standing up against injustice, reaching out to someone left behind, or dedicating your time to a cause that transforms lives. Don't underestimate the power of these choices. Every gesture, no matter how small it seems, is like a stone dropped in a lake. It creates ripples that touch lives you may never meet. Think about it. What you do today could be the start of a revolution. One act of kindness can inspire another, which inspires another, until a chain of transformation comes to life. I've seen it happen. A single courageous act by an ordinary person, like Robert, choosing to do what's right, can change the destiny of a person, a family, an entire community. And you? What will your contribution to this chain be? What mark will you leave on the world? Because in the end, life won't judge us by the size of our bank accounts, the cars we drive, or the trophies we collect. We'll be remembered for the lives we touched, the hearts we warmed, the bridges we built, and the hopes we rekindled. That is the true measure of wealth. A wealth that isn't stored in vaults but multiplies every time we choose to act with love, courage, and generosity. It's a legacy that transcends time, living on in the stories told by those we've impacted. So, I ask you, are you ready to be an architect of change? Are you ready to look around, spot an opportunity, and act with an open heart? It doesn't matter if your gesture seems small. It's powerful. It doesn't matter if you think you don't have enough to offer. You have exactly what the world needs. Start today. Start now. Be the spark that ignites the flame of transformation. The world is waiting for you. What's your next step? A journey toward true abundance. Robert's story, a resonant reminder of the transformative power of small acts of kindness, is just the beginning of a much greater journey, a journey toward true abundance. This abundance, my friends, isn't confined to the numbers in a bank account or the possessions we accumulate. It's a mindset, a state of being, a way of living that embraces generosity, courage, and human connection as the true currencies of eternal value. As Mr. Millionaire, I could talk about financial strategies, investments, or the path to material wealth, and those have their place. But today, I invite you to something far greater, a deep reflection on what it means to live with abundance in every sense of the word. If Robert's story touched your heart, if it sparked a flicker of hope, or a desire to make a difference, then you're already on the right path. That flicker is the first step toward cultivating an abundance mindset, a mindset that sees opportunities where others see scarcity, that finds wealth in human connections, selfless actions, and the courage to act even in the face of uncertainty. True abundance isn't about having more, but about being more generous, more empathetic, more committed to the impact you leave on the world. That, is why I invite you to dive deeper into this journey with a transformative resource, the ebook, The Secret of the Rich, 7 Steps to Financial Abundance, available right now through the link in this video's description. Let me be clear, this isn't just a guide about money. It's a compass for redefining what it means to be truly rich. In it, you'll discover how to align your actions, values, and resources to create a life of purpose, impact, and fulfillment. These 7 practical, accessible, and profound steps go beyond finances, teaching you to cultivate a mindset that attracts opportunities, strengthens connections, and amplifies your ability to transform the world around you. Reflecting on abundance. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what is wealth to you? It's a simple question, but it carries layers of meaning. For some, wealth might mean financial freedom, traveling the world, or providing comfort for their family. For others, it's having time to spend with loved ones, contributing to a greater cause, or simply living with peace of mind. The beauty of abundance lies in its universality. It doesn't discriminate, doesn't require a specific bank balance or social status. It's available to everyone because we all have something unique to offer: our time, our energy, our voice, our ability to inspire. Robert's story teaches us that abundance begins with a single act. A courageous gesture, like standing up for someone in a moment of injustice, can change a life. A moment of connection, like offering a smile to a stranger, can rekindle hope. These actions, however small they seem, are seeds planted in fertile soil. They grow, blossom, and create a ripple effect that transforms not only the recipient but also the giver. Because when you give, whether it's time, attention, or resources, you don't diminish your wealth. You multiply it. The power of an abundance mindset. Cultivating an abundance mindset is like opening a window to a world of possibilities. It's choosing to believe there's enough for everyone: love, opportunities, success, and that your prosperity doesn't depend on taking from others but on creating value for all. This mindset frees us from the fear of scarcity, cutthroat competition, and the me against the world mentality. Instead, it invites us to collaborate, share, and build together. Think about it. How many times have you hesitated to help someone out of fear of losing something? Time, energy, resources? How many times have you held back because you thought you didn't have enough to give? The abundance mindset challenges us to let go of those fears. It reminds us that when we give, we receive. When we support, we grow. When we transform, we are transformed. A call to action. So, here's my renewed, urgent, and vibrant challenge. Be an architect of abundance today. Don't wait for more money, more time, or more courage. Start with what you have, where you are. Do something that reflects the wealth of your heart. It could be a small gesture, like listening to someone who needs to vent, or something bigger, like leading a community initiative. Every action counts. Every choice matters. And every step you take reinforces the belief that the world is a place of limitless possibilities. And for those who want to go further, who want to dive headfirst into building a life abundant in every sense, I repeat, grab your copy of the ebook The Secret of the Rich, 7 Steps to Financial Abundance. It's more than a book. It's a roadmap to transforming your mindset, your finances, and your impact on the world. Click the link in the video description and start this journey today. Because abundance isn't something you find, it's something you create. The true measure of wealth. In the end, we won't be remembered for what we accumulated, but for what we shared. For the lives we touched, the hopes we rekindled, the changes we inspired. True wealth is a legacy of impact, a mosaic of moments when we chose to be bigger than our fears, stronger than our doubts, and more generous than our limitations. So, I ask you, what kind of wealth do you want to build? What story do you want to tell with your life? The journey to abundance begins with a choice. The choice to believe you are enough, that your actions matter, and that the world is ready to be transformed by you. Don't forget to subscribe to the MR Millionaire channel. Turn on notifications and like this video. With your support, we can keep sharing inspiring stories and promoting social justice in a world that desperately needs it. Always remember, true wealth lies in who you are when no one is looking.